Ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, I don't like haul videos, and I obviously did a couple a little while ago, and I did this impromptu haul that I filmed last night, but I've just been shopping, and I want to show you all what I bought, so I'm afraid you're going to have to put up with another art haul. And this will also show you some of the things coming up on my channel, because obviously things I buy, I obviously tend to review. So, last month, I love flower palettes. Not everyone likes these kind of daisy palettes. I really like these when I'm painting larger pictures where I want to work straight from the tube. So what I do is I have this little thing, which is actually a lipstick holder, a makeup organizer I got for a few pounds in a really cheap shop. And each of the wells will hold 2 or 3 5mm tubes. So what I do is I select the tubes I'm using, I put them all in, and then I make my mixes in here, and obviously I can wet and re-wet, and it's really easy to just wipe one of these out with a paper towel and continue. So I make all my big washes in there, and then I clean it out. I do the big washes in the middle, I should say, and then I make all my specific mixes. So these are like Naples yellow with yellow ochre, Naples yellow with cad orange. This is a cobalt blue, raw sienna, the middle is a sort of shadow colour, and so on. I really love the texture of porcelain for painting, and I also like the smaller mixes where I don't want to use so much space. I wanted one of the oblong palettes, so I got a porcelain oblong palette for £5.99, which is about £1 more than I paid for this guy over here. And I love these. This has got 6 wells, made by a cheap company, nothing special, really generic, but I like them a lot. I have a lot of faith in a lot of these cheaper companies, because they're actually selling pretty good products, just without any frills. And it's just a nice glazed palette. It hasn't got too much of a slant to it, so it's not going to hold large volumes. That's what this one's for. It's pretty shallow. It's just enough to make just little mixes that I need to make. So I'm going to have that alongside it for when I need to make, you know, a small mix rather than a big wash, because I always make more than I need. But if I just want to take a little bit of a wash and add another colour, I can move it over to here. And this has got 6 wells, and I like this one. And what I often do with the daisies is I'll put each individual colour I'm working on in a different well for you know, because normally I'd never paint with more than 6 or 7 colours at most. Do my big wash or my shadow mix in the middle, and then I'd mix on a plastic palette. But I hate the texture of plastic palettes, so I got this to work with. And I've been using daisies for years, like this plastic daisy here, where I've got my individual colours for a painting I started ages ago but I've still not finished. But then I bought a porcelain one and I really loved it, so I'm kind of moving over to this for mixing. So that was my first procurement. My second, I think I'll go through, I'll do brushes next. There were a few brushes I wanted, and I'm actually going to have to cross-reference my brush pot, because I want to make sure I did actually buy what I intended to buy, because I'm slightly worried I've just bought a duplicate, which would be, of course, rather silly. No, we're okay. So the first thing I wanted was a bigger wash, a bigger squirrel mop. I've got a 0 and I've got a 3 minus a 2. I've got a 3 0 and a 2 0, and I wanted a 0. I actually want a 20, but I can't afford it. So I got this for £10. It's by ProArt. Some moron in the shop had obviously put the thing back on, so it's splayed at the bottom, but I can rescue that. If you ever need to rescue a splayed brush, just dip it in water and then with a bit of gum arabic on your fingers just shape it and then let it dry for a couple of days before you use it, and that should rescue it, because all that's happened is the hair is bent and it's sort of memorized the position it's in. Bit of warm water and you can soon mend these. But with a squirrel mop I would never use warm water, because with squirrel and goat warm water can shrink the hair and make it fall out, so I'll be being very careful when I do that. But I can mend that. But I really wanted one of these. I really want one of those huge ones that you see, but I just can't justify the price. So that was my first brush procurement. My second one, and I'm just going to have to look for reference as to which size I already have, because oh dear, Someone hasn't washed this brush properly. Sorry. I just found a manky brush that clearly had not been cleaned. I have an 8 Prolene Plus filbert, and I got myself a 12. Lovely, look at that. Look at the spring on this. Beautiful snap, but they're lovely soft bristles. I love them. They have got wonderful absorbency. They take up a lot of paint. They're really thirsty brushes, and they've got the ability to follow a lovely fine line. So I really like Prolene Plus. They're made by ProArt in the UK. I bang on about these brushes all the time. I'm really sorry. If I can get a focus on the brush, there we go. They're Prolene Plus. It's from the 009 series, made by ProArt in the UK, and these are about £10, and they are an absolute bargain. You can spot Prolene Plus, by the way, because the ferrule is gold. The ferrule is silver, like this ferrule here, so you can just about make the difference out on camera. It's silver on the Prolene range, gold on Prolene Plus, and these gorgeous teak handles I really, really love. I wanted a bristle 1 inch or 2 inch as a blender, and I couldn't find one, but I found a horsehair one. I think it's either horsehair or hog bristle. I honestly can't tell. I think it's hog actually, but it looks very long for hog bristle. I can't tell, but it'll do the job. I just wanted something for blending out watercolour that was very sharp and bristly, and they gave me that for £1 because they can't read the price ticket properly. And finally, sorry, I just had to stretch my back then. It really hurt. The position I'm standing in to film this was really not comfortable. I wanted one of those really big 1 inch or 1.5 inch washes, or oval washes specifically. I ended up getting this 1 inch Prolene, not Prolene Plus, just standard Prolene, which is not quite as snappy. It's a bit more flicky, and it looks like gorgeous blonde hair. It's really amazing. And these have painted handles, so it's the 1 inch 106 series, and it's Prolene, not Prolene Plus. I love Prolene and Prolene Plus to paint with. They're great fibres. And so this is a one stroke, not a flat. You can tell because it kind of curves slightly on the edges, whereas a flat would be usually a little less so. I really want an oval wash in this size, but I'm struggling to find one that I like. But I wanted that for wetting large areas and doing large washes, because at the moment I tend to use goat fibre, which goat hair is not great for that job. I wanted something a little bit better, so that's what I got myself there. Now, I've got some paints. Yeah, let's do paints next. I got some paints that I wanted, and then I got some paints that were on offer. So let me just tip these out. I've got to be careful because I don't want to mix them up with other things I've got on my desk at the moment. So I got some half pans from Winsor & Newton of colours that I want to use on plein air soon. So I got Winsor Lemon because I don't already have that. Most of my pans are Cotman, as I don't use good ones for sketching really. I got Burnt Sienna, I got Venetian Red. I wanted light red, but that'll do. We'll just use less of it. French Ultramarine, and should be Raw Sienna. Yeah, Raw Sienna. That's for a really specific painting actually, where I think I'm going to paint the whole painting even indoors from pans, because I want a really great intensity, but I don't want the intensity that you get from working with wet paint from the tube. So I'm going to try using half pans to see if I can get a kind of in-between intensity, and then I will use them on plein air by swapping them into my Cotman sets. I got tubes, restocking. I got French Ultramarine I'm nearly out of, and Cobalt Blue I'm nearly out of, so they're just restocking my tubes because they're nearly gone. I got the red shade of Cerulean Blue, so that's basically more neutral. It's not quite so green. It's just exactly the same pigment, it's just a different size grain, I think. And I got Van Dyke Brown, which was because I really started to enjoy using it in the Cotman set, so I thought I'd get the Pro one. And it's just synthetic iron oxide mixed with carbon black, so I could have made it myself, but I wanted the reliability of a premix. They had some 14 or 15mm tubes of professional watercolour from Daler and Rowney, who I don't use really, but these were £1 for these huge tubes. So I got Cad Red Pale, which is normally about £12. I got Bismuth Yellow, which is again normally about £12. And three more. I got Nickel Titanate Yellow, which is about £7 normally. Permanent Red, which is Pyrrole Red, same kind of price. A Vermilion Hue, which is Pyrrole Red mixed with Pyrrole Orange, which is normally again about £10–12. So quite a big saving there. I got another pack of the Winsor & Newton watercolour paper, which is the Focus Damn You £140 cold press in A5, which is about 8 inches by 6 inches roughly, and it's reduced from £6.50 to £3.99. And this is what I've been making my DIY watercolour blocks with for working outside. It's a 100% cotton paper, if memory serves. It feels like a 100% cotton paper anyway. I'm not actually sure. It doesn't actually say, so maybe it isn't. Maybe it's fake. Do you know, I thought these were cotton, but reading the interior, it doesn't look like they actually are. So maybe they're not actually cotton. It probably would explain why I find this a really hard surface to paint on, because it seems to soak up the water. So disappointing to find they're not cotton, but obviously at that price they're not going to be. But it's kind of like a fake cotton texture, so I quite like it. I'm getting used to it. I bought myself an A4, so double that size, Bockingford block in cold press, because I don't have any cold press Bockingford in stock. I've only got rough, so I thought that'd be good to have. And I treated myself. Ladies and gentlemen, I have spent a very large amount of money here. I have spent, well actually the price per sheet is not bad, because I got 20 sheets of Arches. It's Arches, not Arches, because it's named after a town in France. So Arches paper made by Canson. And not many people realise that Canson are the same company that make Arches. And Arches is their really, really high-end watercolour paper. I get the rough because I love rough paper. It was 25% off, which is great, and it's 20 sheets. So the original price was £36.79 for 20 sheets, because we pay a large import duty from France on this paper for some reason. And it's 9 inch by 12 inch. So that works out about £2 a sheet, kind of, and I paid £27.59. So a lot of money, but actually it's a thick block of 20 sheets. This is because I'm obviously at the point in the year where I start painting things as Christmas presents, and I've got quite a few paintings I want to do for friends for Christmas, and I want to use a really beautiful paper. Last year I used Saunders Waterford Rough by St Cuthbert's Mill, which I love, but the shop was out of stock of that in rough. They had it in all the other types, but I don't want those. So I thought I'll use Arches, what the hell, it's a beautiful paper. And I might even do a little review of it and a comparison with other papers if people want that. So if you think that would be useful to have a comparison of different brands of watercolour paper and what they can and can't do, leave a comment below and I will make sure I make that video for you. I think I might do a Papers 101 video if people would like that. So please comment below. And also, while you're down there writing comments, comment on things you'd like to see me do, whether it's techniques, whether it's a review of something, whether it's something you don't understand, like a type of style or a paint or a technique or something, and I'll do something on that if enough people want me to do it. So leave a comment below, and obviously don't forget to subscribe and like, because it really helps my channel. Thank you all very much, and good evening.